All right. Good morning, everybody. Hello again. Good morning. Hopefully everybody had a chance to top off their coffees, get some more water. It'll be available all day, so feel free to keep filling up as much as you want. But hi, everyone. My name is Allison Espandola. I'm the State Program Officer here at Coleridge. Really wonderful to see so many familiar faces here. Thank you so much for coming out, but also for all the new faces. It is so lovely to meet you in person and be able to have this time together. Again, welcome to Coleridge's 6th Annual National Conference, Data Beyond Borders. Before we really get kicked off, it is my absolute pleasure to do some housekeeping with you today. Always the best part. If you haven't already, please, we encourage you to download the app for this year's conference. We have the agenda on there, as well as speakers, fellow attendees. We'll also be sharing updates and information. You can go through and create your own personal agenda on there, where you can say, these are the sessions that I want to attend, so that you keep track of all of the information and the places and the people that you want to make sure that you're connected with this week. Also on there, there is a poll that we are encouraging you to take. So if you have not done the poll yet, please do the poll. That information is going to inform a session tomorrow that we are affectionately naming the Unconference Breakout, which is a participant-driven session. The actual name of it, though, in case you're wondering, is What's Top of Mind? Participant-Driven Conversations on Data, AI, and Policy Impact. So please make sure you take that poll, share your information, and your interest in that. The last little housekeeping item is we are, this year, virtually inviting participants. So we are live streaming some of our sessions, which we're very excited for those that can't travel. They have the opportunity to still participate. But for us here in this room, that means if you don't talk into a microphone, they don't hear you. So during Q&A sessions, there are microphones throughout the room. Please make sure that you talk into the microphone. Speakers as well. Please make sure you talk into those microphones so that we can capture that information that you are sharing and your insights, and that those joining us virtually will be able to as well. So with that, I do want to introduce to the stage Dr. Aho Yildirimaz, CEO and President of Coleridge. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Allison. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to our 6th National Annual Conference, Data Beyond Borders, here in Arlington. It's wonderful to see you all here. And welcome to those who are joining virtually. And this is the first time, actually, as Allison mentioned, we're the first time we are live streaming this session. So we are even more excited about that. And whether you came from across town or across the country, we are so glad you made it up here, and we know that many of you, air travel was a little bit required, little extra patience this time. So thank you for making the trip. I hope everyone's trip went well. So the energy in this conference is already vibrant. Over the next few days, I hope we build on that together through conversation, collaboration, and shared learning. That's our goal for this conference. And as many of you know, we are really at a pivotal moment today. When we got together here last year, the world already felt uncertain. But over the past year, the landscape around us has shifted even more dramatically. Many of you have experienced, or many of us have experienced that directly, through changes in federal priorities, budget pressures, workforce reductions, shifting access to data, and in some cases, real uncertainty about what comes next. At the same time, we are living through another major transformation, the rapid rise of AI. If I don't mention AI in my speech today, I know I'm going to fail. So here we start with the AI story. the rapid rise of AI and the ways it's reshaping our work environment, how we work, how we analyze informations, how decisions get made. So this is a pivotal moment in two ways. One way is it's all about what's happening in statistical and policy landscape, but it's also about what's happening in technology as AI changes the expectations, speed, and possibilities around data. So we're facing these two sides of the challenges, right? The environment is changing, the technology is adding up to that, it's accelerating that change. And don't get even me started about data and AI, the connection between those two. There is no useful data, there's no useful AI without data. So, right? If you want to have a useful AI, you must bring good data in it. So these shifts make really one thing clear. We need good data, and good data matters more than ever. What is good data? Good data is secure. Good data is trusted. Good data is connected. Good data is governed. Good data is usable, insightful, actionable. And most importantly, good data leads to better decisions and better outcomes. That's the work we all together must continue to build together. That's the mindset we bring to this conference. Let me start by recognizing our community. So this year, let me see, I'm doing the right thing. Should I click? I'll click. Yes. So this year we are joined by nearly 250 participants, both in person and for the first time, as we mentioned, virtually, as we are live streaming the sessions. We have attendees joining us from 40 states and territories, including as far away as Alaska and Guam. Participation from partner organization is up 35%. You can clap, Cynthia, we can actually. I saw her doing that. So participation from a partner organization is up 35%. Attendance from academic institutions this year is up more than doubled. We are particularly excited to welcome nonprofit partners working in areas such as community development and health and human services. These domains hold data that are essential to understanding the broader impact of education and employment policy change. So that's why that participation really make the landscape for our conference is different this year. We are also seeing stronger participation from Western states. We began building many of these relationships last fall at our first Western States Summit, and we are glad some of them are joining here today, this morning with us. In fact, Cami Feek, the Commissioner of the Washington State Employment Security Department, will join our first plenary today to share her perspective and experience. We are also excited to welcome a group from Fairfax Public Schools. While we have had K-12 representation for several years at our conference, this marks the first time we are hosting such a large group from a local education agency. And thanks to our generous sponsors, we were able to offer complimentary registration to two groups: students and former federal employees affected by reduction in force. So we are grateful for that. The theme of this year's conference, Data Beyond Borders, captures something essential. Data is at the center of everything, including AI. But the impact comes from connected data, from linked data. Policy decisions drawn from linked data are clearer and more powerful when borders are crossed, both literal and figurative. That's the work we are building at Coleridge through Administrative Data Research Facility. But we are not building just a platform, we are building an interconnected ecosystem. Each linkage creates new insight, each collaboration expands what is possible, and each shared data helps build something scalable. And if you missed it, last month we announced a major grant from Ascendium. It will help us strengthen cross-state education to workforce data infrastructure. That investment comes in the right time. Demand for data-driven education and workforce strategies is growing. But many states still face challenges from technical, legal, and governance issues. And that makes it hard to link education and workforce systems across their agencies, and let alone across the state line. So this new initiative that we are starting with Ascendium, with your support, will help overcome those barriers. It will establish the infrastructure, agreements, applied learning models, and tools needed to build a regional multi-state integrated data system within Coleridge's ADRF. So that work is becoming even more urgent now because states are being encouraged to prepare now for Workforce PAL implementation ahead of its July start. So we're going to connect with the states and see how we can actually help and accelerate their needs before the July start. We have already helped states bridge post-secondary and workforce outcomes across agencies and across state lines. Now, we are ready to take the next steps, scaling these connections across more programs, more agencies, and more states. This work is already taking a shape in New Jersey through the statewide data system, a secure, governed platform linking K-12, higher education, and workforce data all together. We are also launching work in West Virginia to link post-secondary education, workforce, and enhanced wage records. This project will build a foundation for even more complete, actionable evidence on education and workforce pathways. We also continue work on the prison education project funded by Ascendium. So drawing on data from our partners in Arkansas, we will conduct training later this year on linking corrections data with data on workforce outcomes. At the center of this evolution, it's Coleridge's ADRF, a trusted, neutral home for data, a secure foundation for linking, analyzing, and governing data responsibly. ADRF enables the collaboration at scale while maintaining the higher standards of privacy, security, and compliance. This is also where AI comes into the picture. As we all know, there's a great deal of attention on AI right now, and it's both from the promise perspective, but also from the potential disruption perspective as well. So at Coleridge, we are approaching this moment with clarity, caution, and purpose. We are integrating AI into the ADRF very cautiously with human oversight. We design it so that AI operates within controlled governance frameworks with the same privacy protections and the same trust that define our work. Our AI research assistant is helping researchers move more efficiently from question to insights. It supports code development, improves documentation, strengthens the clarity and consistency of analysis. At the same time, our AI export assistant is improving. One of the most critical parts of secure data is we export the outputs for release. It helps identify potential risks, apply policy consistently, and support more transparent, auditable decisions. The integration remains true to our core values. It's about building efficiencies for partners, enhancing productivity, supporting analysis, and accelerating insight, but without compromising trust. And importantly, we pay really very much attention on this. We keep people at the center when the AI is in our system. AI for us supports decision making. It does not replace it. So before I close, I want to thank our sponsors, partners, collaborators for their support and leadership. Many of you here at the room with us. We are grateful for many organizations helping make this work possible. And I, of course, want to also thank our team at the Coleridge and Multi-State Data Collaborative teams. Their effort to bring this conference together to the life has been extraordinary, and their work advances our mission every day. So with that, I am very pleased to introduce our keynote speaker, Raed Ghani. He's joining us virtually this morning due to a family matter last minute, and we are especially grateful that he could still be with us. So we did some change in the plan over the late last night, team, and we have him via Zoom this morning. Raed, one of our co-founders of Coleridge and former board member, is a distinguished career professor at Carnegie Mellon University, where he works at the intersection of machine learning and public policy. He is also the founder of the Data Science for Social Good Fellowship, which has trained practitioners from around the world to use data science to address real-world social challenges. What makes Raed's perspective especially valuable is that his work is grounded in practice. He has spent years partnering with government agencies to build and evaluate AI and technology systems in areas such as public health and human services, employment, and criminal justice. I'm looking forward to his talk and many others over the next few years. Thank you again for being here. Let's have a great conference, and let's dive into the data beyond borders. Thank you.